Okay, all right, all right. Hello, everyone. Was having a couple technical glitches there. My countdown timer was acting awfully strange, and I'm sorry for being a couple minutes late, but welcome back for day 2 of the Virtual Assistant 5-day challenge. All right. Oh my goodness. So, first of all, it's day 2 already. Like, this is going to go by super fast, but I'm going to tell you, I am really so fired up today, and I'm just ready to crush it today with you all. And I want to make sure that you also are bringing your A game too. All right, and that you're just as excited as I am. Just to continue to work together, right, through all this content and just really taking action. All right, and Rega, thank you so much for letting everyone know that we're live. All right. So, as you're all rolling in, I would really love for you to just share your favorite takeaway from yesterday. All right. So, if you made any kind of shift at all yesterday, let me know in the comments. All right. And, what are you most excited about? As far as what you've learned so far, right? Put that in the comments too. Okay. And also remember that friends don't let friends challenge alone, right? It's always nice to have a challenge buddy. So make sure that you tag at least one of your business besties or your friends, because we want to make sure that they know that we're live here too. Okay. Because, again, it takes a lot of work to put these challenges on, and we want as many people in here as possible. All right. We want to spread the word far and wide. And you know what? Even if they weren't here yesterday, people get busy. They don't get their notifications. Well, you know how it goes, right? And we just don't want them to miss out on this content, because, as you guys know, after this week together, these videos are all going to be coming down. All right, we're going to be taking them down. They're all going away. So you got to make sure that your friends know about them. Okay. All right. So first of all, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who had time to complete their homework. Okay. And I want to remind you guys that we have one more opportunity for you to register for VIP, because we're going to be closing it down. All right. So some of you were here yesterday, or maybe you watched the replay. Okay. You can still get into the VIP, but we're going to be closing that down because it just doesn't make sense when we're too many days into the challenge. Okay. And good morning, Anne. Thank you for being here. All right. So if you are interested in upgrading to VIP, just check out the link in the comments. Rega or Anne will go ahead and post that for you, and you can click on there, and then we'll hop on our VIP face-to-face call afterwards, so that you can ask me all of your questions, and we can kind of go deeper into the material than what we're doing here in the challenge. All right. And also, don't forget that we have a very cool giveaway on Friday. So for anyone showing up for the entire 5 days and completes all of their homework, we want to make sure that we're enticing people and we're engaging people, and we can do that with fun things like challenges and giveaways and all the things that we have going on this week. Okay. All right. Hey, Gordy, thanks for being here. I love your support. Thank you so much. And also, if you still don't have the workbook, no worries at all. Just stay focused here and, take notes on paper. Okay. All right. So I'd love to know, actually, what made you sign up for the challenge this week? Okay. Why do you want to explore becoming a VA? So tell me in the comments here, or just reach out to me. My email is jody@jodymarvin.com. I would love to know, why you actually signed up for the challenge. All right. Something was stirring inside of you, right? And I also want to just remind you to, just stick with me here. Okay. And, just stay committed to yourself. How bad do you want this? Right. And, I want you to believe in yourself and do this for you. Right. And whatever your story is, right. I have a lot of key moments that were the deciding factor for me. Right. And I'll be sharing some of those during the week. But one of them that was, really a turning point for me when, I was working full time. All right. And so, and my husband was too. Right. So we're both gone during the day. And that's kind of like your typical scenario, kind of, sort of. Right. And, this is when I was working at the law office. Right. I worked at a law office, and, there was this one day in particular that I'll never forget. That was one of my turning points. All right. It's when I had my two oldest daughters were in high school at the time. And on one particular day, my oldest daughter had to stay after school for softball practice. Right. And, not really that big of a deal. Right. So my middle daughter ended up taking the bus home. She was home by herself. Well, not a big deal until, I'm at work. Right. And my middle daughter, Emily, she called me saying that there was a strange man inside of her home when she got home from school. And I was like, that can't be right. Right. And, and I didn't know what to think. My first thought was that again, she was mistaken, or, it must be the furnace repairman who was actually there the day before, right? But it didn't end up being the repairman. It was actually two intruders. There were two men inside of our home when my daughter arrived home from school all by herself. And you know what? Thank God that nothing happened to her. And, she was able to hide on the side of the couch, and it ended up that they ran off into the woods, actually. And we had to call the police. And it was a huge stressful event that really, really helped me decide that, I want to make this VA thing happen. So if this is something that resonates with you, and maybe not as dramatic as like what my story is right here, but, you may have had a turning point of your own, right? So just stick with me here. Okay. Because, when you have that turning point and it feels helpless, and you don't know whether or not you can do something or, make that transition, you just have to stick with me. Okay. And commit to yourself as well. All right. So now, before I talk about the key recaps from yesterday, the first thing I want you to remember is that all of these sessions that we're doing, they build upon each other. All right. That's why we have 5 days. Okay. So, if you're just catching this live, I recommend that you go back to yesterday, go back to day one. Day one is in guide 6 of our Facebook group, right here in the collective. All right. And that's where all of the replays are, all the workbook, everything is in guide 6. And while we're going to be challenging here this week. All right. So go back to guide 6, watch day 1. If you just happen to find this, if you're live with us right now, you can come and hang out, right? But just know that these days build upon each other. Okay. All right. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that if you weren't able to list all of your activities and your skills from your day 1 homework, don't let that worry you. All right. Just remember, it's okay to take time, with this exercise. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the key recaps from yesterday. Okay. We talked about discovering your VA niche, right? If you so choose to have one right now. So just remember that you do not have to have a niche, right? You don't have to niche down at first. Okay. It is perfectly fine. And it's actually encouraged to start where you are right now with your unique skills. Okay. And I really can't emphasize that enough. All right. And we talked about reflecting on your VA journey. Why do we want to become a VA, right? Are you looking for more flexibility? Are you looking for financial independence? Maybe you're looking for a new challenge, right? So I hope that you took the time to write down what inspires you about becoming a home-based virtual assistant, right? And I hope you wrote that down in your workbook. All right. Reka, thank you so much for tagging all of our ladies that signed up for the challenge today to let them know that we are live. All right. So, yesterday we also talked about establishing one goal that you have for this workshop this week. Okay. What do you want to walk away with here? Right. Was it an understanding of the VA market, learning a new skill, maybe just diving deeper to see if you actually want to be a VA, right? And remember again that these reflections are going to be your foundation, okay? And they're the bedrock upon which you'll build your successful career as a home-based virtual assistant, all right? So just take this time to really connect with your aspirations and your ambitions and just listen to yourself, okay? All right. So, we also explored all of the unique benefits of the freelance VA lifestyle and how this is more than just a career change, right? And it's going to be like a lifestyle shift that really brings some freedom and flexibility. And when I say that, I'm not just saying that. It really does bring you freedom and flexibility, and I would never want to go back. All right. And again, I told you yesterday that I've worked from home for well over a decade now. And again, I love that flexibility, would never want to go back, and want to share that opportunity with those other mamas who are looking for that freedom too. All right. So hopefully you created your ideal balance statement by jotting down your thoughts to, start crafting your new reality, really, right? And really what the ideal work-life balance scenario is going to look like for you. All right. And it could be as simple as not having to commute to work or being home for your pet to walk them during the day, right? New challenge and financial freedom. Beautiful, Crystal. I love it. Fantastic. And you know what? We also had some thought starter questions yesterday that I really hope helped get your gears turning, right? Get the juices flowing and really kind of, dive deep into what skills or passions that you have that you could turn into a VA service. Okay. Because there's something in there. We all have something. We all have unique skills. All right. We also identified some potential market needs that might align with the skills that you already have. All right. And we did an assessment of some of the skills that you could improve upon or even learn, right? I have a list of my own skills, right? I've been doing this stuff forever. And there's a lot of new things that I want to learn. I am really, really into the CRM thing right now and automation, and creating sales funnels. And so like I'm actually taking classes for that. And I want to learn more on that because I want to offer that to my clients as well. So you see what I'm saying? You could be doing this for decades, for years, and there will always be learning opportunities. And Amanda, I don't want someone else determining when I can take time off. Oh my gosh, girl, you said it. You absolutely said it. Yep. And that's one of the reasons that I did made that plunge as well. So good for you. Yep. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. So day one, we had a lot of reflection going on, and I hope you were able to come out of that with some answers and maybe a little bit of direction. All right. So I would love to know, just tell me in the comments if day one helped you out. Did you come out with a little bit of direction? I hope you did. Okay. I also want to stress again the importance of all 5 days. All right. I just want to tell you how vital it is to just stick with us for the full 5 days. All right. I try to keep it under an hour every single day. And, because I know that we're all busy and we have things to do. So even if you can't catch, every session live, don't worry about it. We've got you covered with all the replays. All right. Which are in guide 6. So, and just reiterating that each day builds upon the last. And when we do that, when we build that, it just gives you like a comprehensive foundation to really just kind of like jumpstart your business ideas. Okay. And if you're catching this right now, and you haven't registered for the 5-day challenge, I would encourage you to get yourself registered. All right. Because there's going to be some bonuses, and there's a workbook, and you can only get the workbook if you register. Okay. And you'll actually have the entire schedule. You'll be notified about when we're going live each day. So I'm going to ask my team to go ahead and plug in the registration to our Zero to VA Hero 5-day challenge that we have going on right now, just in case people want to register and get those notifications coming in. All right. And then, thank you so much, Rega. Thank you. So Rega just posted the registration page. If you haven't registered yet, go ahead and register. It's just going to get you all of the bonuses. It's going to get you the ability to, enter our giveaway. All right. Lots of fun prizes this week. Okay. So we want to make this fun, right? Business should not, business is a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, but it should be fun too. And that's our kind of our goal here. All right. Okay, so, and then as far as the workbook, if you haven't had a chance to grab the workbook yet, again, no problem. Don't worry about it. Just grab some paper and a pen and jot down some notes, okay? Because it's really crucial just to stay focused and make the most of our time together in this challenge. And you can grab your workbook tonight, okay? All right. And then as far as that homework goes, and I think I've said this a few times, but this program, again, it's definitely interactive. And what do I mean by that? Well, it means that you're implementing as you learn, right? And when you do that, that's going to be the key to your success. Okay. Because I want you to get the most out of this challenge. That's why we put so much work into it. So the homework completion is really going to be super important. So, and it's so important, as a matter of fact, that I'm going to be doing that giveaway this Friday. All right. Because anyone who completes all 5 days of the homework is going to be entered into a drawing on Friday. Okay. So anyone, just complete it, put it in the group with the hashtag for the day. Okay. And all the hashtags, I think I announced those at the end, and I'll announce it again. So yesterday's was hashtag day 1 homework. Okay. So day 2 will be hashtag day 2 homework. All right. But anyone who completes all 5 days of the homework is going to be entered into a drawing on Friday, and I will announce what that's going to be tomorrow. Okay. So, at the end of each day, after you've completed your homework, just make sure that you post some kind of photo of it. You can blur out any personal information that you don't want anybody to see. All right. And tag me in it with a hashtag of the day. All right. Just with the hashtags that I just mentioned, because I really do want you to succeed, and just would love to see you get your business off the ground like sooner than later. Okay. And that's definitely why I'm offering this incentive. Okay. Because what, we want you to win, and, we want to make this fun too. Right. So, and, if you are serious about your business, then you'll get the homework done too. Okay. All right. Because, we're only here for 5 days together, right? Your business is the rest of your life. Right. So this is just kind of like a precursor to your business. You have to put the work in. Okay. All right. So for today's agenda, we are going to be talking about exploring essential tools. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me just see. All right, here we go. All right, so we're on session 2. So setting up your VA toolkit and exploring essential tools. And I just want to go over here and check. I have Linda Smith over here on Instagram, Ebony Goodwin. Thank you for being here. Awesome. And Raga, I see you over on Instagram as well. Very, very cool. All right. So you know what? Every virtual assistance toolkit is going to be unique. All right. But there's going to be some core areas that we'll cover today. All right. Just to give you some ideas, maybe you already have a lot of tools that are lined up, right? Especially if you're already a VA or if you're already some kind of service provider and you're out there doing the thing. So but stick with us today. Okay. Because there should be some nuggets that you can pull out of this. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is communication and collaboration. And then we are going to touch on project management, document and file management. And then the last on page 10, we're going to be talking about time management. All right. And of course, we're going to explore these one by one so that we can break these down for all of you. Okay. So first up, we're going to be talking about on page 9 of your workbook is communication and collaboration. All right, because you know what, in the world of virtual assistants, honestly, clear communication is like your lifeline. All right, you have to have that communication open because it just makes your relationship with your client so much better. Trust me on that. Okay, so there are some tools out there. I'm sure you've heard of them. I'm sure you've probably used them before. But there's tools like Slack. There's tools like Zoom. All right, and those tools can really become invaluable here. All right. And Slack, if you've never heard of Slack is basically an instant messaging type tool, right? Where you can create different channels and so that you can organize your chats, okay? You can also upload files. You can share links. You can have one-on-one DMs with people. You can do huddles. You can actually schedule a call in there, all right, which is very, very cool. But again, Slack allows more for instant messaging with your clients. And it really, it's kind of more for like, it could be for like immediate conversation. Okay. Because sometimes we have like deadlines, right? But that's what I love. I do love that for like immediate conversations. All right. And then of course we know all about Zoom, right? But that's a little bit different of a communication tool. Okay. We use it for different purposes, such as face-to-face meetings, right? Or maybe when you need to share your screen to, talk about a document or discuss a plan or whatever. All right. So now when it comes down to being a virtual assistant, so we've got your effective communication and your collaboration, right? That's going to be super important. And really they're kind of like the heartbeats of your business. Okay. So how you communicate can really, really significantly impact your relationship with your clients. It could impact your efficiency and, ultimately really your success. Okay. So I want to give you a few scenarios and just kind of dive deeper into it. Okay. So let me just check and see how we are doing here. Okay. Why am I not seeing my, okay, very good. Okay, so Amanda said, yes, it gave me a great start to understanding if and where I might be able to start my own VA biz. Fantastic, Amanda. Good. And so that was the reflections yesterday. Yes, I'm so glad. That's awesome. That is amazing. All right. So as far as the scenarios go, all right, for your communication and collaboration, just imagine, imagine a couple different scenarios where clear communication is going to be key for you. All right. For example, let's just say that a client needs an urgent update on a project, right? Or, maybe they prefer a quick daily check-in with you, okay? I do weekly check-ins with my team. I love Zoom for that, all right? Of course, you're going to find your own way with your communications and, your client may have a preference as well, right? So, again, and your different clients will probably have different expectations for communications as well. Some may prefer email for detailed discussion. Others might want like a quick Slack message, like I just talked about. I actually love Slack for that, you guys, because it gives you a pop-up notification. When you hear that little ding or whatever that noise is from Slack, that, oh, okay, somebody needs something and they probably need it sooner than later. Now we're going to get into project management next, but so I use Asana for our project management. But our team has Asana and we have Slack as well. Now, when I see notifications popping up in Asana, it's great because it does have due dates and deadlines and things in there. But normally it's not like an emergency. However, when I get a notification in Slack, I usually think that, okay, that needs my attention a little bit sooner. Okay. So, and you'll find your way with that. All right. But having these tools available is going to be so important. So just knowing about them, right? If you don't happen to know about them yet. Okay. And then again, Slack messages can even be for brief updates or, again, decisions that need to be made like quick. Okay. And that said, this is another thing I want to tell you is that it's equally important to, really establish some boundaries early on with your clients. Okay. So just think about this. Are you comfortable receiving texts or calls after hours? I mean, do you really want to? And I would say, if not, how are you going to communicate this preference without coming off as like unapproachable? Okay. So just remember that setting, clear boundaries from the get-go can really help you manage expectations, and it can just help you, foster a really healthy working relationship. Okay. So for example, you could say something like, you know what, I'm definitely dedicated to providing the best service during working hours, which are whatever, 9 to 5, whatever you want to work, right? You're choosing your ideal day. And then you could tell them that, for any urgent matters outside these hours, please use email and I'll get back to you first thing in the morning, or please put it in Slack and I'll answer my Slack first thing in the morning, something like that. Okay. So these boundaries are going to be important. And I want you to think about that early on. All right. So now when you're choosing your communication tools, deciding on how you're going to communicate with your client is really going to be important for keeping things really flowing smoothly. All right. So juggling texts, oh my gosh, emails, Slack messages, Facebook DMs, it can really be, it can become overwhelming, and actually it can really be inefficient too, right? Getting all these different things thrown at you. Okay. So, instead of, having all of these different things coming at you, maybe just think about streamlining your communication channels, right? And here's some examples. You can even kind of like break them down into little buckets. All right. So let's say, we'll give it, for example, email is for non-urgent, detailed communication and maybe some like official documents. Okay. Slack or maybe any other similar tool. There's also, there's Google Chat, right? That's kind of there's a little bit similar, although Slack has the channels and it really, really makes it organized. But Slack could be more for like day-to-day communication, quick updates, informal chats, right? That keep the workflow moving. Okay. And then Zoom would be for, weekly check-ins, maybe some discussions on project progress, right? Or, maybe any situation that really benefits from face-to-face communication. Okay. Because I do think that face-to-face communication is important. It really builds that, the team relationship. And I really love seeing our team face-to-face. Because it just makes you feel closer as a team. Okay. And you have that team bonding. And I really love that. So as far as creating a communication plan, this is what you can do. Okay. You can draft up a plan with your client, right at the start of your engagement. All right. Because that can make a world of difference. So think about that. So when you're doing your client onboarding, think about incorporating what your communication plan is going to be so that they know that from the get-go. All right. And the plan that plan can actually, it can outline all of your preferred tools and platforms for all the different types of communication that you have going on, right? And it can also include your expected response times and actually how to handle urgent tasks that are outside of normal working hours. Okay. And I have some more examples for you as well. So let's say it's for general inquiries and updates. You can say, okay, we're going to use Slack for day-to-day communication. And I check Slack regularly during my working hours of, let's say, I don't know, 10 to 2, whatever your working hours are going to be, or 9 to 5. And I'll respond within 2 hours of these times. Okay. Just so they have some expectations. Now, it doesn't mean you have to, abide by those strictly, but have some guidelines, right? And then for sending and receiving files, you could say something like all documents and files will be shared through Google Drive. Very, very smart thing to do, right? Keeps it so super organized. And, and you can tell them that this ensures that all of our documents are organized and easily accessible to both of us or the entire team. Okay. And then for urgent matters, for anything that needs immediate attention, right? Mark the email as urgent or send a message through Slack with a prefix that says urgent, right? But, you want to put some boundaries on that as well. And just say something like, this is reserved for matters that genuinely cannot wait until the next working day. Okay. All right. And then, of course, you're going to tweak your communication plan, right? With feedback and adjustments, because, really maintaining an open line for feedback on communication effectiveness is just so key, right? You're going to want to assess what's working well, what can be improved, right? And that goes for anything, any one of our plans here, right? But, we just happen to be talking about communication right now. And honestly, regular check-ins about the communication process can really tell you like if adjustments are needed, right? So like if you have, like say that you have a weekly check-in and on one of those check-ins every month, you want to talk about communication. How's the communication going, right? Is there anything that we need to improve? Because maybe that you find that weekly Zoom calls are too frequent and then you shift them to biweekly. That's what our team actually just did. We were doing weekly calls and we found that we didn't really need the weekly calls anymore. So we switched to biweekly and it works just as well. It really does because we have the other lines of communication that we use. Okay. Or, maybe that you decide to bring on a new tool that better suits your collaboration needs, right? Because there's tons of tools out there. All righty. So just remember that, when you're setting up your plan, your communication plan and collaboration plan, just remember that the tools and the strategies that you choose should not only make your work more efficient, but, it should really align with your client's preferences and their business operations. All right. And really balancing professionalism with, personal well-being by setting your clear boundaries, right? And your expectations right from the start, because, that's really going to help ensure that communication and collaboration is it's going to actually enhance your work, right? And not hinder it. Okay. Because too much communication can be too much, right? Okay. So, before we move on to project management, so one of the action items that I'm going to tell you to do, and we're going to actually go over this again on the homework page coming up shortly in the workbook, okay? But I encourage you to sign up for some free accounts on either maybe Slack, Zoom, Google Chat, whatever tool that you choose. And this is where, there's going to be some research involved as your VA business unfolds, right? So that you can find out what tools work best for you and for your clients. Okay. And sometimes you're going to find a client that has a different tool that you haven't used before. And, you're going to want to learn that as well, but it's just another tool in your tool belt, right? It's another skill learned. Okay. And another thing you can do is like even set up a test Zoom call with a friend just to get comfortable with the settings. All right. Because there's a lot of little different settings on there. And it's always great to test out. Okay. All right. So now we are on to project management. So, this is huge. All right. Because there's going to be a lot of moving pieces with projects, right? So keeping track of all the tasks, the deadlines, and all the projects is actually, it's non-negotiable as a VA. All right. And there's a couple different tools that I use. And and there's tons more out there. So again, this isn't in stone, but these are my recommendations. This is what I use on a daily basis, but it's Trello and Asana. They are both fantastic for tracking all of your projects, your deadlines, and your tasks. All right. And they really allow you to create boards or lists for each project. They let you add tasks. They let you set deadlines, which I absolutely love because then you can see your deadlines by chronological order, which is amazing. And it even lets you collaborate with clients directly within the tool. All right. You can reassign to each other. You can add comments. It's almost like using Slack, but it's inside the tool. Amanda, I like how Trello is quite visual. Yes, Trello is amazing And I love the visual aspect as well. I love it, Amanda, for I've used it for social media management, and the lists in it, especially if you add like graphics, is amazing. So Trello is perfect for visual people. Now, Trello does have a free version. And of course, you could upgrade to the paid version, and it's really not that expensive. Maybe worth the upgrade, but it's okay to start for free, right? Just to test it out. So yeah, I agree. I love Trello as well. But but project management is so crucial. Yes, Amanda, Asana does have a free version, and you can upgrade there as well. I think it may be a little more expensive than Trello, but again, it depending on what level of functionality that you want, you might not need all the bells and whistles in there. You might just need a simple project management system. So check it out, and yeah, it does have a free version. So which is cool, right? But project management in general is, it's just crucial for virtual assistants, because it just ensures that all of the tasks are completed on time, right? That's important. They're completed within the scope, right? And that, they're up to the quality standards, right? Because we want to deliver quality work as VAs, right? It's what keeps clients coming to us. It gives us referrals, and we want those long-term clients, right? And we that's what we want to deliver. We want to deliver the high quality work. And the project management system that you choose is really going to be your framework that just holds your VA business together. All right. Because it's going to ensure that you stay organized, which you're going to be thankful for. It's going to help you to meet deadlines, because when you're running late on stuff and you're so overwhelmed and you see all these deadlines of all these things that are due, it's going to be so helpful in that, it's just going to help with the overwhelm, right? So that you can see an actually clean list of all the things that you have to do, and you tackle them one at a time. All right. And guess what else it's going to do? It's going to keep your clients happy. Isn't that what we're kind of becoming VAs for, right? We're helping these clients who can't do all this stuff by themselves. All right. So now let's just talk about the importance of a project management system. All right. We'll talk about some scenarios that you might encounter as a VA and how we can navigate those different scenarios. And Crystal says, I am obsessed with Trello. I use it with Slack and Monday. Yes. So Crystal, exactly. So Monday.com is just another project management system, and it helps you color coordinate along with being super organized. Yes. Amazing. Yeah. And I'm telling you, so explore the different tools, ladies, because there are many out there. All right. So I would even suggest that you go take a look at Monday.com. Crystal, does Monday.com have a free trial? I would love to know that. I'm going to guess yes. Okay. All right. So let's just talk. I mean, we already said to talk about this a little bit, but let's talk further about why we need a project management system. Okay. Well, without a project management system, managing more than one client, multiple clients, and tasks can quickly become so overwhelming, like we just talked about. And, it's kind of like trying to juggle without a clear plan, right? Eventually something's going to drop. Okay. And that's what we try to avoid. Thank you, Crystal. It does have a free trial. Amazing, ladies. Monday.com has a free trial. So I would recommend writing that down in your workbook and going checking that out along with Trello or Asana or, whatever else is out there. So is there a list of tools and platforms per niche somewhere? Seems like a lot, which might become overwhelming. I do have a tech guide, Amanda, and I will be giving that to you in the workbook today. Now, as far as niches go, I mean, I'm going to say that a lot of the project management tools aren't niche specific, because you can customize them to whatever your niche is, right? So I have a client who is a leadership development expert, and they do keynote speaking, and they go to around to different companies, and they train executives. And there's all these different events that we need to manage. So I've actually taken Asana and I have customized it, and I've created, now this is on my own. So I created what is called a client dashboard. All right. Now, do client dashboards exist inside of these project management tools? Not initially, but it's the way that you customize and set them up. Okay. So, I don't really think it matters what niche you're in, I think that you can just kind of customize them to, whatever the needs are to your different clients. All right. But it did take me a little bit, like testing and things like that, and Asana to get that just the perfect client dashboard set up. And it's amazing. Love it. Like, all of the client information is in one project. And then we have all the different events. Like if a client comes back and we do different events for them, all of their events are subtasks. And then all of the logistics are broken down into further subtasks. So it's amazing. And all of their invoicing is in their client dashboard. It's pretty cool. It works out very well for us. So again, it's just something that we created on our own that made sense for the client. Okay. All right. So what does a good system do for you? You guys probably already know this, but we talked about this. It keeps track of your deadlines, right? Making sure that no task falls through the cracks, because you want to assign them at a due date so that you can look at your overall list to see what's next. What do I need to do next? Right. We're not multitasking. We're taking on one task at a time. Right. It also helps you to organize your tasks efficiently. Okay. It allows you to see at a glance what the heck needs to be prioritized because sometimes it can be overwhelming, right? It helps us to facilitate our communication, right? And it really provides like a centralized place for all of your updates and, feedback on your specific tasks. Okay. And it really should be your go-to, right? That's what my project management system is. Whenever I'm like, okay, what do I have to do today? That's where I log in first. Okay. And it's like your roadmap for the day or for the week or for the month. Okay. What else does it do for you? It enhances your transparency. All right. It's going to let your clients see the progress of their projects. It's going to, show them what you're doing. It's going to foster trust, right? And it's going to foster confidence in your services because they're going to be able to see everything that you're doing and how you're handling their tasks. Okay. So very, very cool. So, here's a solution recommendation. Yes, Amanda. Yes, exactly. So, so here's a solution. So what you can do is, if your client maybe doesn't have a system or, you want to try to provide a solution to your client, you can actually recommend the implementation of a project management tool like Trello or Asana or Monday.com, right? If your client doesn't have one already in place, and that very well could be, all right. And, when you're making this recommendation, right, just explain the benefits, like having a clear overview of all the tasks, prioritizing effectively, and really reducing the risk of the miscommunications. Okay. And you can just offer to set up the system and just provide them a quick tutorial on the benefits and the usage. All right. Now, let me give you a scenario. Okay. Let's say that you're managing multiple projects for multiple clients, right? Each with their own preferred project management tool, right? You know what? Juggling these different systems, can become time consuming and confusing. But here's a solution scenario that you could try, right? So while it's definitely important to adapt to your client's preferences, you can also suggest a centralized system for your work too, right? And you could really honestly, you could present like a compelling case for maybe a single system that improves efficiency and accuracy in your task management, right? Especially if your client's on a project management system already, and maybe they don't like it, or maybe they're not using it the way that they need to, right? This is your chance to offer an alternative solution. Now, if a client prefers their own solution, their own system, their own solution, right? Another thing you can do is you consider using a tool like Zapier or Zapier. I always pronounce it Zapier or Zapier, but so Zapier basically it helps. It provides automation, and what happens? It can help you integrate your different platforms into your own workflow. Okay, and then that would reduce the need to manually manage tasks across multiple systems. Okay, but another thing too is that if you do have multiple clients with multiple systems, that's where it's going to become important. And we're going to talk about this in time management, but to time block. And then you can just, yes, Crystal, I love Zapier too. It's amazing. And by the way, I actually was able to get rid of Zapier a couple of weeks ago because I found a new system that I'm going to be talking about that But I just transitioned over to a new CRM system that does everything. So it's just amazing. But let me see. So where was I? So we were talking about, just the different systems that your client has. And sometimes, you know what, if your client has a different system, multiple clients have different systems, you're just going to have to use the systems that they have. Okay. And, when you time block and you just focus on one client at a time, with the time blocking, then it shouldn't be an issue. All right. And just think about all the different skills you're going to have. I know this system and that system and this system, right? So, not a bad thing. And a lot of the systems are quite similar. And, there's just a smaller learning curve, right? But that's okay, because as VAs, we're always learning. So, when you are recommending or selecting a project management tool, just think about the following, okay? If you don't have one already, okay? Now, if you have one already, that's okay. But again, these are just suggestions, especially for some of our newer aspiring VAs out here. So think about the ease of use, right? You want it to be easy. The tool should be intuitive, and it should have kind of like a gentle learning curve, all right? Look at the features of the project management tool. So look for essential features like task assignments, okay? Deadlines. You definitely want to put a deadline on things. File sharing is really important. And the ability to leave comments or feedbacks on tasks and then assigning it back to the person who you need to hand it off to next. Okay. Who is the next step in that and completing that task or that project. All right. Another thing to consider is integration. The ability to integrate with other tools like calendars and email and file storage, because that can really help streamline your workflow as well. Okay. And then the last thing to consider when you're looking at a project management tool is the tool's scalability. All right. I mean, it should be able to accommodate your growth, right? Because your growing needs, right? As you take on more clients or complex projects. Okay. So just a few things to keep in mind. We do want to keep it simple when we're trying to choose, right? We also don't want to be stuck in analysis paralysis. Okay. So here are some recommendations as far as implementing a project management system. Okay. So this is for clients. Say that you have a client, right? And they don't have a system at all. Okay. And you will find some of them. All right. So this is how you would go about implementing. So number one, you would do an assessment. All right. You're going to onboard your clients. You're going to take a look, evaluate what their current processes are for managing their tasks, and really take a look at their pain points. Where are they struggling with, keeping track of all their projects and your tasks? Because you know what, they're hiring you for a reason, right? They need our help. They need us to come in there and organize for them. All right. So look at their key pain points and their current process so that you can figure out how to fix it. Then after your assessment, then make your recommendation and just, suggest a project management tool that really just addresses their pain points, right? And then you're just going to explain the benefits of it. Okay. Easy peasy. Then after you recommend it, basically all you would do is the next step would be to set up an onboard. Okay. So just offer to set up the system and then just create an initial project structure. All right. So Amanda, I was just talking about how with my client, I created a client dashboard. Okay. Something similar to that. You might find something that's just super customized to your client, depending on what niche they're in. Okay. What industry they're in. All right. So create that initial project, really think about it, maybe test it out, on your own, and then onboard the client and any of their team members so that they can start using that as well. Okay. Now for your own business, let's talk about implementing a project management system for your business. Okay. So the first thing to think about is consolidation. All right. So even if you work with client systems, all right, you're going to want to maintain a master system for your own use. All right. To keep, I'm going to say, an overarching view of all of your tasks and deadlines. Okay. So I have clients. I also have my own VA business that I run. I do use my client's Asana. It's a totally separate Asana project management system, but I like it so much that I use it for my own VA business as well. Okay. So you do want to maintain your own master system, right? Again, even if your client has monday.com or Trello or whatever. Okay. And then again, for your own business, make sure that you do some routine check-ins. All right. And, really just use the system to establish some routine status updates, okay? And that would be either like through automated reports, or maybe you can have some review meetings if you have your own team, or just like your own brainstorm, okay? And then as far as educating your clients on the value, just remember that it's really important to talk to your clients about the value of a project management system, all right? And just highlight how it saves time, okay? Because it reduces tons of back and forth and emails and calls, which is so important because it gives you more hours in your day on both sides. Again, it increases transparency. It just allows them to see the status of their projects in real time, all of the time. They can log in 24/7 and see where the project is, okay? And then the third thing is it improves outcomes, all right? Well, how does it do that? Through better organization and prioritization of tasks, okay? And, just kind of emphasize that, as a VA, that your goal is to just bring efficiency and order to their operations, right? And a really solid, robust project management system is going to be a key tool in achieving that, all right? And that's going to be, it's going to help you do your job, right? And, just by really presenting some concrete scenarios and solutions, you're going to demonstrate that not just the value of the tool itself, right? But also it's going to show you that you're proactive. It's going to demonstrate your proactive approach to solving their problems and improving their business processes, right? And what client is not going to like that? Wow, she's already talking about improving my business processes. Oh my gosh. All right. So your action item in this section, and again, we'll go over this again, but I just want to mention this now, is to either choose Trello or Asana or Monday.com. Try that today, okay? Or set it sometime aside this week. I know that we're all busy, but if you can, take a few minutes just today and choose one of the project management systems, and then create a project board for your VA business, okay? And as a start, just add some tasks for this week. And how about add tasks for this workshop? Like, what do you have to complete this week for homework, right? Just to get a feel for it, just to practice a little bit. All right. Okay. So we're going to move on to document and file management. Okay. So for document and file management, this is basically just the ability to just store files. This is where you're going to share files and where you're going to be able to collaborate on different documents. Okay. It's important. When you can't find a document, it's going to drive you crazy. It drives me nuts when I can't find it. It drives my client nuts when they can't find it. So it is important, right? It's a piece of the pie. Okay. So there are some great tools out there. There's Google Drive. I love Google Drive. I really, really do. And it offers a suite of tools like it has Docs, Google Docs, Sheets, Google Slides, and that's all perfect for that, right? Because you can share them. You can all be in there live at the same time, so you can see what each other is working on. Dropbox is another great option, especially for sharing larger files, okay? Because Google Drive does have a limit. I think it's 25 meg, but it's still a great tool. Love it. Use it every single day. All right. And just remember that effective document and file management is, it's a cornerstone of a successful virtual assistant business, right? And it really just ensures that both you and your clients can just find what you need when you need it. All right. And really avoid, wasting time and just avoid the frustration of not being able to find stuff. Okay. And, and proper management also really secures sensitive information, right? And it maintains a really professional standard of your client's operations and your operations too. All right. So, so the importance of document and file management, it enhances efficiency. It improves your collaboration. All right. And it ensures security. Okay. So, it's really important. And let's just take a look at, let's see here. We are starting to run out of time. So I'm going to kind of dwindle this down just a little bit. So if you're going to implement a system with a client, okay, just again, take a look at their current document and file management practices and identify their areas for improvement. And then you can look at some of the different options. And again, sell that to them. Tell them, why it's so important to have these tools. Okay. So your action item for document and file management is to just create an account with either Google Drive or Dropbox, if you haven't already, right? And then just start organizing all of your documents and your files into folders for easy access. And think about creating, maybe like a client name folder and then folders underneath that, like subfolders, okay? And think about creating dedicated folders for your client work. So easy to find, okay? And then maybe one for your own business and your administration, and maybe even one for workshop materials like the one that I'm creating right here. Believe me, I do have a folder in my Google Drive for this workshop, okay, that has all the materials, all the bonuses, all the videos, everything, okay? The workbook. All right, so we are going to move on to time management. All right, we're on page 10 of the workbook. All right, so let's talk about time management here. So effective time management, we all know it's definitely crucial for a virtual assistant. It's crucial in our personal lives, right? It's so important. And, you know, it's not just about squeezing as many stinking tasks into your day as possible, right? It's about working smarter, not harder, right? To ensure that you're delivering quality work to your clients while you're also maintaining a healthy work-life balance, right? We are not starting these businesses to be stressed out all the time, okay? That's why time management is going to be so important, and why mastering our time management is so essential, okay? So let's talk about a couple different scenarios that you might face, and then we're gonna talk about some strategies that you can overcome them as well, okay? So here's the importance of time management. So proper time management is going to allow you to, number one, meet deadlines reliably. Okay. And you can be taking notes here in your workbook on page 10. Okay. So it also it ensures that your client is satisfied and that they trust you. Okay. Because you're meeting their deadlines. Number two is to maximize your productivity. All right. You know, you're just going to be prioritizing your tasks. Which one should I be working on right now to move the needle? And we want to avoid the time wasters. Okay. All right. Number three, it reduces stress. I don't want to be stressed out all the time, right? I mean, you can't reduce stress 100% of the time, but when you know what needs to be done and when, this really helps to alleviate the anxiety of the deadlines and the overwhelm and, oh my gosh, what should I be working on? Okay. So that's why time management, along with all these other tools, is so, so important. All right. And then the last one is to achieve work-life balance. Okay. To make sure that you have time for both your professional responsibilities and your personal activities. Okay. We're starting these businesses. Why? We want some time freedom. Okay. So this is going to be huge, ladies, in your VA journey. Okay. So here's a scenario and a solution for you. Okay. So number one is task overload. Let's pretend like you're juggling multiple clients. Okay. We started our VA businesses. We got all these clients on board, and so which in turn gives you all these tasks that you have to work on. Right. And despite working all these long hours, you're struggling to keep up. And it's leading you to stress and burnout and thinking, why did I do this to myself, right? Well, we don't want that to happen in the first place. And the solution to that is to prioritize all of your tasks based on urgency and importance, okay? And there's some other tools out there. Google them, write them down in your workbook, but I'm going to give you an example. And I do have a cheat sheet for this somewhere. So I will ask my VAs to remind me of that so I can give it to you. There's a tool called the Eisenhower's matrix. Okay. It's basically it's a box with 4 squares in it. Right. And it helps you to categorize all of your tasks into the 4 quadrants so that you can focus on what needs immediate attention. All right. Because if we don't need to be doing it, we shouldn't be doing it. Okay. Also, we can learn to either delegate if it's possible for us to delegate, or to say no to the tasks that just don't align with our core responsibilities or our business goals or our client's business goals. Okay. Scenario number 2, listen to this up. Listen up here. Constant interruptions. That can really, 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 it could make or break your time management. Okay. It's just, especially when you have a lot of things coming at you. Right. So think about how your workday is constantly interrupted by emails, messages, and calls, right? Really, really making it hard to focus on the tasks at hand. Okay. And it really can. But the solution to that is to schedule specific times for checking your emails and your messages, right? Rather than looking at them every 5 minutes or every 2 minutes or whatever, okay? And rather to responding to them as they come in. You don't have to respond to every single email as soon as it comes in, okay? And actually inform your clients of your communication hours so that they know what your expectations are, right? And you can use tools like Do Not Disturb. There's different modes. You can turn off notifications, things like that, especially when you're working on critical tasks. Okay. Today, before I came on to do this training, I turned off my notifications on my phone. Okay. Because I want to focus on the matter at hand. I'll turn them back on when I'm done. Okay. So we just have to learn how to say no and implement these things. All right. So here are some time management tips and tricks. And then we're going to wrap things up here. But number one is to start with planning. So just begin your each day with a clear plan. All right. So try to use the first 15 minutes of your day to like look at your tasks, outline your tasks, and kind of know what your objectives are. Okay. So a daily to-do list or a digital planner of some kind can really be helpful in keeping track of what needs to be done. Number two is time blocking. I just talked about that a minute ago. Time blocking is amazing. I love it. But you can allocate like specific blocks of time to different tasks or different types of work or different clients. Okay. You're going to want to play around with this a little bit. All right. For example, you might reserve your mornings for creative work like content creation, or, scheduling social media posts, or you might reserve afternoons for things like administrative tasks. Okay. And of course, it's going to depend on what tasks you're performing for your clients. But breaking these down this way is going to be so helpful. So you guys, time blocking really helps create like a rhythm, all right, to your workday. And it enhances your focus. It enhances your productivity. So time blocking is so important. So I really encourage you to explore that. All right. Okay. So let me just go over here and I just want to check comments. Amanda says, I hear that as a mom, I'm always bombarded. Yes. Oh, yes. Being a mom is like, you are running a whole household. Yes. So time blocking as a mom is amazing. Super, super important. So that's a great thing that you can do, Amanda, as practice time blocking for all the things that you have going on with your kids and your household. And yeah, absolutely. Love it. Number three, there's something called the Pomodoro technique. It's where you work for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break and you can use a timer. So you could try that technique too. And it really helps to maintain really high levels of focus, right? And then it gives your brain a rest for 5 minutes. So, the research has shown that it really works. So you could even try that, like implement that into your day, right? Why not try it? Okay. And there's numerous apps out there and online timers that can help you with that method, but you can take a look at that technique. And I actually did a Facebook Live about that not too long ago. So I'll see if I can find that. It's somewhere in the guides here in the group. Okay. But yeah, so that can be really helpful too. Number 4 is to set clear boundaries. Okay. It's so important to communicate your working hours to your clients and really stick to them. Okay. Because this really helps, manage your expectations, and it allows you to have uninterrupted personal time. All right. Because what's that going to do? It's going to contribute to a healthier work-life balance. All right. We're not doing this to work all the time. Okay. We're doing this because we don't want to work all the time. Right. Number 5 is to leverage technology. We have all this technology around us, right? So there's a bunch of different tools that you can use that can help you track your time. There's something called Toggl. It's Toggl. You can look that up. There's something called Rescue Time. There's something called Harvest. Some of other VAs who already have your businesses. And if you track your time, you may have a tool that you already use. But these can really help you know how you're spending your time, right? And it can help you with offering insights into areas where you can improve. Where can I get better at that, right? Additionally, project management tools have some built-in time tracking, right? And the one that I just mentioned was Harvest, and that works with Asana. It's pretty cool. So you should check that out too. All right. And it can really help you keep your tasks and your time management in one place, which is cool. And the last thing I would recommend is just doing regular reviews. Okay. So maybe end your week with like a quick review of what did you accomplish, what you didn't get done, and then kind of assess what worked well for me and where did I face challenges this week. Okay. Because this quick reflection can really help you plan more effectively for the following week and just maybe try some new things if it didn't work out for you. All right. So we can also take some of these techniques, and when you're starting with a new client, you can implement some of these strategies. You can just be upfront about your work process, how you manage your time. And, this can even include like your preferred method of communication, your working hours, how you prioritize tasks, right? And you know what? You can even educate your clients in all of these practices because it not only sets your expectations, but what does that show? It highlights your professionalism, right? And your commitment to delivering quality work, right? Because all of these things are going to help you deliver that quality work, all right? So we can educate our clients on this anytime. All right. So the action item for this area is to choose a tool for time tracking and just try to start using it. All right. And if you prefer something simpler, start with a Google Sheet, right? I actually created a Google Sheet and I can even share that with you. But then you can pay attention to what you learn about your productivity over the next 24 hours if you try tracking your tasks. Okay. Give it a shot and see how it works for you. All right. So we're going to move on and we're going to start wrapping things up because we're kind of going a little bit over time today, but we kind of put a lot in here today because our VA tools are so important. All right. So hashtag day 2 homework, you guys. All right. So what we're going to do is we already talked about this. We're going to sign up for free accounts on Slack and Zoom or whatever tools that you choose. All right. Explore their features. Maybe look at some tutorials, some quick start guides. All right. Then for our project management, we're going to choose either Trello or Asana. And by the way, I'm on page 11 of the workbook. And create a project board for your VA business. Okay. Add some tasks to it. Maybe some of your action items from this workshop just to give it a go. Then you're going to create a Google Drive or a Dropbox account or whatever file management system that you want, right? If you already have one in mind. And then you're just going to organize your files into folders, okay? So that you can easily find them and think about it like from a client perspective. How can they find this easily? All right. And then let's see, as far as tracking your time, you can try using Toggle or Rescue Time or a simple Google Sheet. And I do have one again. I think I did a live on that as well. But if you would like that, just comment below Google Sheet. I'll give it to you and you can kind of track your time and see what you're doing throughout the day. Okay. So that you can do an assessment and it's free and it's easy. And so that is, those are your action items. And also your homework is to write a brief summary of each tool that you signed up for. Okay. You're going to do all these action items, but I want you to just kind of give me a couple different summaries. Okay. So, whatever tools that you signed up for, tell me what their primary function is and how it's going to benefit your VA business. All right. Because I want you to think about this and any interesting features that you discovered that you think are really cool that are going to help you, because you know what? We can all use some different tools, right? And then your integration plan. So draft a plan on how you're going to integrate at least 3 of these tools into your daily workflow. Okay. And just think about how they're going to improve your efficiency, how you're going to communicate with your clients and your project management as well. All right. So remember that the goal is not to use every single tool available, right? This is in your workbook here on page 11, but you want them to fit your lifestyle. Okay. So, just take the time to explore some of these tools, all right? And just think about how they're going to look in your business and how they can actually streamline your VA operations for your clients, okay? Because they're going to be an investment, right? And they're going to definitely be in your toolkit, okay? And that is it. So that's the wrap up. Make sure that you check out as part of this workshop. You have access to 2 amazing bonuses, all right? And I have the All Things Tech Guide in the workbook on page 11 and the Time Management Toolbox. So check them out. These are resources that are designed to really kind of just complement what we're learning this week and give you even more tools and strategies. Okay. So again, just remember that the goal isn't to use every single tool out there, but just to find out, what tool fits, your business needs and your working style and all that other good stuff. Okay. All right. And, just remember too that the effort that you put in right now, right, will pay off in efficiency and gaining those clients and having happy clients. Okay. And also remember that you can build all of your tools as you go. Okay. So don't forget about your homework. This homework may take some time this week. So if you don't get it done before tomorrow night, that's okay. All right. And don't worry. Okay. But I would still love to have you post wherever you left off on. Okay. With today's hashtag. Okay, so take a photo now and let's tag each other and celebrate. So take a photo. And what I would like you to do is put me in your stories and tag me and tell people, oh my gosh, I just learned about the essential tools that I can use to get my VA business up and running in this amazing 5-day challenge. All right. So, all right. And ask them, do you want to get in on the training? So tag me in your stories and I'll give you a shout out for that as well. And for all of the replayers, I want you to head to guide 6 here in the collective where all of the replays are and the homework posts are. And we will be back challenging tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern time, again, here in the collective. All right. So thank you so much again, you guys, for being here. I'm so happy that you were here. Excellent. Amanda, I will get you that Google Sheet. Pamela, I will get you that Google Sheet. Amanda, the strategy. Let me see. Crystal. Amanda, can you tell me again what strategy? I used it with my kids for studying, but don't know what it's called. Is it the Pomodoro or the Pomodoro technique where you study for 25 minutes and then you take a 5-minute break? It's Pomodoro, like the tomato. Yeah. So I think that's what you're talking about. So the Pomodoro technique. Crystal, you have Alexa in your office helping you stay focused during the fall, and she helps me stay on top of everything. I love that. That's amazing. Excellent, you guys. Yes, I will get you all the Google Sheet. Absolutely. Absolutely, I will. Amazing. Thank you again so much for being here, you guys. We went over the hour and you're still here. So this is telling me, it's giving me the chills because it just tells me who is really serious about making a change in their life. And I know you're going to rock this. Okay. So thank you again for being here today. I'll see you again tomorrow at noon. Thank you again so much. I'll get you the Google Sheet. Have an amazing day. See you tomorrow, guys. All right. Bye.